Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome to another video. We've come to Basted Mill Woodlands. This is a site managed by Tunbridge and Woodland Borough Council. Again, it's not a huge site. You can see over my shoulder here, it spreads about 17 acres, but there's no real parking. If I just flick this way, there's a little bit, where's that finger going? A little bit of parking here for 3 or 4 cars. So bear that in mind if you're coming down. But a little space, a couple of little woodland walks we're going to go and have a look at. We'll go down to the mill pond and I'll tell you a little bit more about the mill. This is me in what they call the lower meadow. See, there's a couple of picnic benches here and there's an information board. It tells us about the 2 walks that are available from Basted Mills and tells us about some of the wildlife that we might expect to see here. It's nice and quiet today. Haven't seen too many people so far. Let's wander on down and have a look at the pond. Okay, so nice as this place is, this is not going to be one for the wheelchairs and the buggies and all that sort of thing. Don't know whether you can see here, it's quite some severe steps going down to the side. Oh, and they're a bit uneven. In fact, having got down here, I think I've come down the wrong side. I'm not even sure if this is the path. It's nice, but yeah, you're definitely gonna need to steady feet on you to get around this one. Catch up in a second. Okay, I've got to the bit that would have been the mill pond. I ended up walking down the road and I think I've done that wrong, so I'm going to go back and have a look. But just in case there's no path, I thought this would be a good spot to tell you a little bit about the mill. Oh, I've got some notes. So it was an old paper mill, dating back to 1716 at least. It was burnt down in 1917, but was rebuilt, but then was built to work with coal and steam. And it continued that way until about 1960. So in fact, after it was rebuilt in 1918, this mill pond became redundant for what its intended purpose was. It was eventually closed in 1968 after some flood damage occurred in September of that year. Let's pause for the car. And the paper from this mill used to be used to make postage stamps. So that's interesting. There's now new houses built on the site of the actual mill. If I just spin around here, really nice looking house and a lovely view over their garden facing up the mill pond. But I'm going to head back to that lower meadow, go back down to the stream and see if I can cross across the other side and see if there's a better view of the mill pond from there. Speak to you in a bit. Okay, back into the woods. It would appear that this bridge down here is the better way to go. I'm hoping this path will take me down through the woods, back to that mill pond, and we'll get a better view of it from the other side rather than going down the road. Let's see. Yes, this is much better. This is more what I was expecting, so definitely don't go walking down the road. You go down the steps past that signpost at the lower meadow, down the steps and over the bridge and turn right. We've got a nice path through the trees. So the path went alongside the river, up those steps you saw me coming up, and then doubles back towards the lower meadow, but up on top here. So you can see here, hopefully, how the path drops down to the bottom, and indeed it's quite narrow and windy and that around here. So I think it would also be quite muddy if it's wet, so watch out for that. If you're coming in good weather, the path's been fine. It was a little bit boggy down at the bottom when I first left Lower Meadow and took the wrong path, but up here at the moment it's nice and dry, but it would be a little bit slippy if it's wet. I'm heading back to the car park, and this will have finished the first of 2 walks at Basted Mill Woodlands. Let's get on with it. Okay, I've got along to the end of this upper route, which say doubles back. I've got to the end here. You can see that down there? Doesn't look great at all. It's trying to rain on me at the moment as well, just to make it more spicy. So wish me luck in getting to the bottom without damaging myself or anything I've got with me. God, if that was muddy, you wouldn't have a chance. You'd end up turning back. But I think there's a route around here. Let's give it a go. Wish me luck. I made it. Onwards. As we wander around here, I don't know whether you'll have noticed, there's a fair number of fallen trees. Apparently these were victims of the big storms of 1987, and they've been deliberately left here to, you know, encourage the wildlife and the habitat to grow, rather than being cleared up and cleared out. They've been left in place. So it's quite a steep hill up there. I'm back down the bottom now, so I'm walking beside the stream, but it's a little bit yucky at this point. It's not very smart at all. Ah, great, more fallen trees to deal with right across the path. I think I can manage. This bit of the path's become a proper scramble. You can see somebody's tied a rope to try and help yourself down this mess here. Back through here, it's become a bit of a jungle scramble. Just trying to get back to the car park at the moment. Okay, so I got back to Lower Meadow. The second walk from Basted Mill Woodlands Park, or in this area, goes from the Lower Meadow back up to the Upper Meadow. I'll just spin around here. Sorry, that's Lower Meadow just down here, and this big sign for the picnic area also shows the start of the steps up to Upper Meadow. Now from the top here, they promise a good view of the pond, and apparently it's also known locally as the cricket pitch. So I'm going to take the effort and go up these steps, and hope the view is rewarding. That's off ski. Okay, so I made it to the top of the steps, and I come out to the middle. The steps pop out just by this sign here in the corner, and there is indeed an Upper Meadow. Now if you'd have read the websites that I've linked to in the description of this video, you'd know in actual fact that they haven't played cricket up here since the 1970s, but it's still known to the locals as the cricket pitch. What I did read online was that there was a view of the pond, and there's not, there's just a line of trees. And I also read that in 2015 they decided they were going to manage the grass better up here and encourage a lot more wildflowers, but it looks like it's either been grazed or is obviously just very short, so there's not much going on in the way of wildflowers. It's nice and quiet, but it hasn't delivered what it promised. I'm going to head back to the car and call it a day. I'll do one quick video from the bottom of the car to sum up this this trip to Basted Mill Woodlands. It's sandwiched between like 3 or 4 districts. There's Ightham, Plaxstall, Borough Green, and another one which I forget at the moment. So it's right in a bunch. You can walk down to the Lower Meadow from Borough Green. It's about a mile away from the Borough Green village, so it's nice and local for the locals. Let's get back down those steps now I've made the effort to get up here. Okay, so I'm back at the car. Little sip of tea before I go back home. Let's sum up Basted Mill Woodland. It's a nice open space if you're local. It's not somewhere though that I'd make an effort to come out of my way to come and visit. There's limited parking. There's no toilets or refreshment facilities or anything like that. There's a nice little walk down by the stream, but as soon as you try and go back up the other way and follow it up on the high path, it gets pretty treacherous up there and there's some real dodgy bits. And to get back to that bridge that you saw me crossing earlier, you have to, hang on. To get back to that bridge going across the tile path, there's some real dodgy bits and it's wet down by the river just as you approach that bridge from the other side. We went up to the top meadow. I didn't even bother taking a photo. It's a nice empty field if you want to go up on a lazy day and read a book under the sun or something like that, but it's not somewhere you're going to come and visit if you're not a local. It would have been great during lockdown, I'm sure, for people to come out and have a walk around this space, but yes, it's not got a lot to make you come here particularly. If you found this video interesting, please give me the thumbs up for the like, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see some more of this. I'm obviously trying to grow the channel, I'm just starting, so any support you can give me would be great. It's been nice to come out, don't get me wrong. It's a nice public open space, but it's not somewhere you're going to go out your way to come and visit. Until the next video, thanks very much for watching this far.